So whether you have the fear of time, when you address that will no longer be an issue. If you have the fear of money, once you find other ways and creative ways to take care of whatever you would have to take care of financially in your business, that would no longer be an issue. Once you free up some mental space and organize your time in a way that does not require you to always remember everything, and you find the time in your day that you aren't using to your fullest potential, in addition to self-care, that obstacle will also be overcome. Hey y'all, hey, it's Khameleon Kay, and today I am talking about overcoming fear and starting a business as a single mom with kids to support. When you think about starting a business, you can think of it in a way that is requiring more time from you, money from you, more energy, mental capacity, all things that as a single mom you may not have a lot of or an abundance of, maybe one or even all of these things. And when you're a single mom, thinking about these things can cause fear or hesitation for you to even bring yourself to start. And if this has crossed your mind, then this video is for you. Now, becoming a mompreneur does require time, but there are multiple ways to address this. If you have a 9-to-5, right? But let's say you work from home, you may have breaks or little dead time in between where you can squeeze in things that you would like to be doing to work on your business, or to work in your business, or to even get started with that business. So if you have a 9-to-5 and you work from home, that is one option. If you don't work from home, on your lunch breaks, if you don't sit in the cafeteria, or if you have the ability to maybe even go in your car, even if you can't write, you can't type, use voice notes and record yourself. Depending on what you do, this could be things that you just need to do, a to-do list, admin work, or things that you think about that you just need to get on paper. And if you can't do that because you're eating, or that's the only time during the day that you have to eat, then it would make sense to just do a voice note, record yourself, get it out. You can even transcribe it. There are apps to transcribe it, copy, paste it, put it on a document, and just fix it later. But the key is, whatever little bit of pockets that you find within the time that you have, utilize those so that you can at least get started. This is one of the ways that you find the time that you don't think you have to work on your business or to brainstorm things to start your business. And the same goes for when you're driving. Maybe you left your job and you need to document something, or you need to talk about something, or you need to write down, like I said, or type something. And instead of doing that, voice record yourself, turn off the radio, and work as you're driving to go pick up your child, or you're in the car alone, maybe your kid is asleep. Whatever time you can find to get things that you need to get done in order to get started, do them, find them. There are gaps that you may not be seeing, so I promise if you intentionally look for them, you'll find them. Now, say you're always busy with kids. You may not have a 9-to-5, or you may have a 9-to-5, you work from home, but you still have your kids, or you have your kids all day. And in that instance, then for you may want to look at early in the morning before they wake up, late at night after they go to bed, or after they go to bed, make that your you time when they're occupied, whatever they may do during the day. If you have them occupied, I don't know, coloring in a book, or if it's a baby and you have to find the little, the nap times in order to work, do that. That is another way for you to get things done when you don't see yourself as someone who has a lot of time. Another option is, if you do have help, utilize it. And I'm talking your parents, your family, your friends, grandparents, people that you trust in your life that are willing to help you. And I know a lot of people, I've noticed, have this issue with asking for help. But if people are willing to help you and you can use the help, take it. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to need help, especially when you're trying to better yourself. So if you were going to a college class and it was no way around it, you would find somebody to keep your kid. Or if you couldn't take your kids to I have heard of people actually taking their kids with them, but you know, if that isn't an option for you, you would find somebody to keep the child. So just like you treat and give respect to other situations, give yourself that same respect. If you need help, ask for it. If it's a certain day that you know somebody is free or more willing or just in the house, or you know, whatever the case may be, and they love spending time with your child and you trust them, see if like it's a specific day that then you can knock work out, or a specific time during a day that you can knock work out. Wherever you can find it, utilize the help if you have it. And if you want more of a deep dive into finding time, then I'll link a video either up here or below. Next, we're going to talk about money. Maybe you have fear of starting because you don't have the money, or you don't feel like you have the money to start a business. So this is one of the things I talk about. So I feel like service-based business in this instance is the best way to go, because the only thing you do need in this situation is you. You're serving the client. So whatever that is, or whatever you decide to offer them, it's you physically tending to that client or being whatever that client needs as far as what you offer, being a service provider. And if you're looking for financial freedom, this is probably another reason why this is one of the best ways to go, because you don't have to give up much in terms of money initially. Even if you have to, depending on what you decide to do, even if it does require money from you up front, if you choose a service-based business, a lot of times that's probably the most frugal way you can go in order to not have to put out as much money as you would with other types of businesses. If what you want to do requires upfront costs and there is no getting around it, then I would encourage you to look for either the free options, the way you can start free, or maybe they have a free option or service depending on what you're using in order to deliver whatever it is that you're starting, or even try to find the most cost-effective way or strategies to keep as much money as you can in your pocket in the beginning. So utilize free and utilize cost-effective strategies. When I first started my daycare, which was one of my first businesses, I was in this position. And of course, you need to have a licensed childcare. You need to have the equipment for the kids. You have to have, if you choose to, transportation for the kids. You know, things that cost a lot of money, although I was providing a service. And this is why I'm bringing this story up. I was providing a service, which was childcare services, but I didn't want to just be a babysitter. I actually wanted to be a licensed childcare provider. So in order to do that, there were things I had to do as far as safety for my house. Of course, you have to have safety equipment or safety things. You have to have fire extinguisher. You have to have cots. You have to have cribs. You have to have toys or playpen. There were things that were required as far as what they call adequate learning materials and adequate play things for them to play with, all that, right? And some of that stuff honestly is very expensive. So if I didn't utilize more cost-effective ways, it would have cost me a lot of money. And I'm actually going to do a separate video and deep dive into how to find, you know, things on a budget or when you don't have a lot of money. Because had I not utilized cost-effective strategies, that would have been a lot of money. Like, y'all, that's a whole nother video, but I promise I will make another video and talk about that. Now I'm going to group the last thing I said as far as mental capacity, energy, and self into one category, because this is something as a single mom that I know you aren't getting away from, you aren't getting around. You kind of always have to be on go. You have to always be on your toes and on your P's and Q's when it comes to your kids. So you may not even feel like you have a lot of mental capacity or more of you to give. But this is why I am so big on self-care days. I'm always going to say, make sure you designate time for this. Make sure that you have time for you. Make sure that you are tending to you. Put that in your calendar. I'm talking every week if you can. And that can look like a lot of things. Again, I already went into that in another video, but it's important. So make sure that you are tending to you just like you tend to your children. So as long as you manage your time in a way that everything has a place in your calendar and a time in your schedule, you'll be able to smoothly move through your week, your month, etc., without having to remember everything. So that would free up some of that mental space, because we're always trying to keep up with everything. We're always trying to stay on top of everything. We have so much going on as far as ourselves, in addition to our children and taking care of our kids and making sure their appointments are this, make sure they have this for school, making sure we're meeting deadlines for that. I know. So put everything in your calendar and designate time to work on whatever it is that you need to work on to meet those deadlines and those goals. And as long as you allot the time, you'll also be able to actually see what you're doing. And like I said, when I talked about this in the other video, I talked about how it's time in the day that you don't realize you have, that maybe you're scrolling or you're watching TV or you just on the phone talking about nothing or whatever it could be. But believe me, you have more time than you think you have. You have more financial options than you realize, and you'll have more mental capacity, energy, and self when you take care of you first. So once you have all of those things, so whether you have the fear of time, when you address that will no longer be an issue. If you have the fear of money, once you find other ways and creative ways to take care of whatever you would have to take care of financially in your business, that would no longer be an issue. Once you free up some mental space and organize your time in a way that does not require you to always remember everything, and you find the time in your day that you aren't using to your fullest potential, in addition to self-care, that obstacle will also be overcome. I do have a guide called Side Hustle to Salary, which will be links below. And until next time, love y'all. Listen to my own big cherry on the top, sweet everything